Okay. What is CoQ? Please type in the chat box. I want to know your understanding of CoQ. What is CoQ? Cost of quality. What is CoPQ? Cost of poor quality. Simple, right? Great. Okay. Now, the concept of quality, cost of quality, and cost of poor quality are essential in quality management and help organization understand the financial impact and improving quality versus cost incurring due to quality failures. Okay, that's okay. So let's see something interesting. What do you see on the screen? What do you see on the screen? Mountain, iceberg. Okay, fine. The tip of the iceberg. Very good. The tip of the iceberg. What do you see now? Okay, the remaining portion of the iceberg. Okay, the end of the iceberg, the entire output, the depth. So now, it's not the reflection. Okay, it's not the reflection. In an iceberg, only 1/7 is visible. The remaining thing is invisible. Inside, how many of you agree with this? Okay, the remaining thing is hidden in this. All right. Now, if you talk about cost of poor quality, there'll be lot of issues like scrap, rework, inspection, defects, overruns. There are some of things are visible outside, but there are many things that are not visible like an iceberg. How many of you agree with me? There are a lot of things that are not visible. Okay. While you're agreeing with me, can you type in the chat box, what are the things that are not visible? Let us see here. What is less visible is product failures, rush delivery cost, unnecessary procedures, lost due to incidents, ideal time, cost. How many of you can relate to this? Type ICR? I can relate in the chat box. If you can relate to this, type ICR in the chat box. Superb. I'm glad most of you are able to relate to this. Okay, now let me go into the depth of it. If you talk about total cost of quality, because you need to spend to maintain quality. Okay, you need to spend money to, if you don't spend money to maintain quality, you need to spend on either rejection or rework. Rework is also a waste, right? So there are cost of good quality and cost of poor quality. All of you write in your notes CoGQ and CoPQ. CoGQ and CoPQ. Cost of good quality versus cost of bad quality or poor quality. Right. Now, what is the cost of good quality and what is the cost of bad quality? I will explain to you. There is something called as prevention cost. There is something called appraisal cost. There's something called internal failure cost. And there is something called external failure cost. So please type PAIE in the chat box. Okay. Prevention, appraisal, internal, and external. PAIE is a pain. Okay. Great. Now let me explain to you the depth of each of these costs. Okay. So you have a cost of overall cost of quality, which is cost of poor quality and cost of good quality. If you talk about external failure, there are warranty charges in your product. There are customer complaints. There are some materials that are returned. There is some penalties for late delivery. There is some rework after the installation. There is some lost opportunity. Okay. If this is clear on a scale of 1 to 10, please give me a 9 or 10 if it is super, super clear. Good. Okay. So this is external failure because it comes from outside. What are the internal failure? You get scrap, you get rejection, you get rework. You might see some missing documents. Okay. There is a cost towards problem solving. There is cost of sorting, retesting, redesigning, downgrading, variation, downtime. How many of you can relate to this type? I can relate. ICR in the chat box if you can relate to this. So this is cost of poor quality. You spend money on all this. This is the cost of poor quality. Great, fantastic. Thank you very much for the active participation. Then let's come to the cost of good quality. Appraisal cost, which means we need to invest in test equipments. We need to invest in testing. Okay, it can be inspection, okay, factory acceptance testing, document review, quality audits, calibration, test materials, and test product. Out of which are all do you use in your organization? Please put it in the chat box. Let me see. Do you all do inspection? Factory acceptance testing, quality audits, calibration, test materials, a lot of things that you do, right? Okay. Now, prevention cost, if you see, there is a cost for planning, right? If planning is not done, then it's an issue. There you do process controls, you do quality audit, supplier evaluation, training, risk assessment, okay, design review, FMEA, failure modes. You do all this thing in order to prevent supplier evaluation, supplier training, okay. Which all the prevention costs do you do in your organization? Let me see in the chat box. Which all the prevention costs that you do in your organization? Let me see in the chat box. FMEA you do, planning you do, training you do. Okay, what about others? Audits you do, beta testing that you do, almost all, right? Okay, design reviews you do. Okay, 8D analysis you do, APQP you do, right? Fantastic. So, great. There's something also like I put here, FTA, fault tree analysis, a lot of things. Okay, fine. Thank you very much. Okay, now my question is, if you're clear about cost of quality, which is divided into cost of good quality, because this is to prevent the bad product from coming, and cost of poor quality is the cost that is incurred because of something that has already happened. Okay, if this is clear on a scale of 1 to 10, please give me a 9 or 10 if it is super, super, super clear. Good. Thank you very much for your participation. Now, so far, if you found it interesting, valuable, fantastic, awesome, super, please put it in the chat box. Let me also get a dose of dopamine energy from your chat and proceed with the session. Okay. Thank you very much. Chocolate. I love chocolates. Okay, good. All right. Thank you very much. And if you stay till the end, I will share the presentation. I will share the complete Lean Six Sigma training manual. And don't forget to join this upcoming webinar in order for you to come into our inner community and be a lifelong learner. Okay. Okay. I'll go into the depth of what is prevention cost. Okay. Design prevention. Okay. I'm not going to read all this, but how do you prevent at the design stage itself? Okay, design validation verification, defect proofing, okay, design review meetings, design qualification testing, okay, fault tree analysis, FMEA, ECA, criticality analysis, etc. Okay, so how many of you can relate to this? Type me in the chat box or ICR in the chat box if you do design prevention. Okay. How many of you do supplier management prevention? Type SMP in the chat box. Okay. Like You spend on supplier evaluation, you spend on supplier capability surveys, you spend on supplier scorecards, right? You spend on new supplier qualification. Type SMP in the chat box. Okay. Operations. There are costs to prevent something happening in operation, like new employee screening, control shortage, developing process control plan, training and education for new employees, internal process capability studies, predictive equipment maintenances. Okay, you can type OP in the chat box. Okay, type QP. Definitely all of you will type QP, right? Like these are sort of prevention costs, like quality planning, quality improvement projects, procedure writing, quality system audits, okay, process qualifications and all that. All right. Now, if the prevention activity which incurs this cost, like design prevention, supplier management prevention, operations, making sure that you prevent mistakes in operations, prevent mistakes in quality. Okay, if the prevention cost is clear, type PC super clear in the chat box. PCSC. PC super clear, right? Fantastic. Thank you very much. All right, let me go to the appraisal cost now. Prevention cost, we saw that. Now, appraisal cost. Supplier management appraisal, like receiving inspection testing, routine audits, source inspection, routine supplier surveys, okay, and operations appraisal is in-process testing, laboratory testing, equipment cost, measurement equipment cost, finished good inspection, equipment setup inspection training, destructive material testing cost, and other things, okay. So if the appraisal cost is clear, type AC super clear in the chat box. Appraisal cost is clear. All right. Thank you very much. All right. Now let's go to quality appraisal. Okay. Process audits, control charts, SPC, reviews, inspection data, maintenance and calibration of test equipments, process monitoring control, periodic review documentation, and all that. Okay. Now, let me go to internal external failure cost. This is very simple. Internal cost, scrap, sorting, rejection, rework, extra material handling, extra inventory cost, excess capacity, supplier corrective actions, material board, etc., etc. And external failure cost is warranty cost, repair cost, customer returns, rejections, royalty. Okay. If IFC and EFC is clear, type IFC and EFC super clear. Internal failure cost and external failure cost is super clear. Now, how many of you are ready for question and answers? I'll ask 5 questions now. How many of you are ready? Type ready in the chat box. Whenever question answer comes, many people will drop out, run away. But be brave, be bold, and ensure that this thing, okay? All right. So the first question, okay, let me pause the chat box for some time. The first question is, which of the following is not a component of cost of quality, okay? Prevention cost, appraisal cost, internal failure cost, and production cost. Which is the right answer? Please put it in the chat box. Let's see what's the right answer. All right. So production cost is the right answer. Good. Thank you very much for your active participation. Okay. Just a moment. Okay. The next question is, which cost is associated with activities aimed at preventing defects from occurring? Which cost is appraisal cost, prevention cost, internal failure cost, and external failure cost? Very simple question, right? Prevention cost. Okay, this is simple answer. Okay, so third question is, which of the following activities would be classified under appraisal cost? Please answer this question carefully. Employee training, process improvement initiatives, inspection and testing, rework and scrap. What's the right answer for appraisal cost? Inspection and testing is the right answer. Okay, so congrats to all the people who wrote inspection and testing. Okay, fine question. FAT, which is factory acceptance testing, fall under which of this category of CoQ? Okay. In fact, that's why I mentioned there factory acceptance testing, factory acceptance. Prevention cost, appraisal cost, internal failure cost, and external failure cost. If people had paid attention to my this thing, you would answer this. All right, fantastic. It is a appraisal cost. Okay, good. And the final question under cost of quality is which cost is incurred when the defects are found after the product is delivered to the customer? Prevention, appraisal, internal failure, external failure. This is also an easy one. Of course, this is the external failure cost. Super. Okay. Cost of good quality and poor quality, prevention and appraisal. And you have all these APQPs, FME, factory, fault tree analysis, process capability, etc. here. And appraisal cost, incoming inspections, final inspection, calibration, auditing, register cost. And if you see internal failures is process delay, rework, scrap, retest, validation, and all this. And external failure cost is customer returns, warranty, loss of customer sales, repair, and all the things. Okay. Now, the point here is these are all to preventive action. This is problem or cause preventive action here, and this is problem or cause detection. You can detect it because here you can prevent the problem from happening. If it has happened, you can detect it, and if still it escapes, if you don't strengthen these two, then it will end up in failure. Okay, then you spend on all this, which is called problem solving and corrective action. Okay, and from problem solving again you go into, you take the inputs from here. So this is like a radar approach, this is like a rescue approach. Okay, if this slide is interesting, valuable, superb, awesome, put it in the chat box. All right, so now this is an interesting slide. With respect to time, you need to reduce the total cost. Okay, so where is the major portion that we reduce the cost here? Where is the big scope of cost reduction? External and internal failure has to be reduced because the damage that you create after it goes out is big. Okay. All right. So with respect to time, you need to do improvements and reduce the total cost. Now I'll draw some curves and lines, and don't get scared by that. Okay. And I want your focus on that. How many of you will stay focused? Type FOCUS in the chat box. Thank you very much. Now, if you see here, the cost of good quality is the green line and the cost of poor quality is the red line. Okay. So we said we need to strengthen, we need to spend more on prevention than failure. Now, if you see the cost of good quality consists of two components. What are they? Please put it in the chat box. Cost of good quality consists of two components. What are they? Prevention cost and appraisal cost. Fantastic. Prevention and appraisal. So you need to strengthen the prevention and appraisal. You need to spend on prevention and appraisal. How many of you agree with me? You need to spend on prevention and appraisal. How many of you agree with me? If you don't spend on training, if you don't spend on measuring equipments, if you don't spend on planning, if you don't spend on supplier evaluation, then you will end up in internal failure and external failure. The lower you spend on prevention and appraisal, the higher will be your loss due to failure. And this is called as a total cost. If you draw a vertical line, this green dot plus red dot is the total cost. How many of you are clear? Type super clear in the chat box. The blue line is the total cost. Prevention cost, cost of good quality plus cost of poor quality is equal to total cost of quality. But then you cannot keep on spending on prevention and appraisal cost. There is a place where you need to optimize, and it is somewhere little, it is close to on the right hand side, it is little to the right side of the optimal quality is where you need to spend your money. Okay, now let me explain to you this further with a different slide. So this is the internal and external failure cost, and this is the prevention and appraisal cost. The total cost is sum of these two things, and this is the minimum quality cost. The total cost is somewhere minimum here. We need to spend a little higher than this. Okay. Now, if you see here, we wanted to be little further than here, and this is the cost of rectifying defects. This is the cost of implementing quality. That is why I've drawn this line here. Okay, low quality, high quality, low cost, high cost. This is the cost of rectifying the defects. This is the cost of implementing good quality. If this slide is clear on a scale of 1 to 10, please give me a 9 or 10 if this slide is super clear. Hi, Mr. Mullen. Good to see you here. Super. Okay. Now, there is also, while I have spoken about the cost of good quality, which is prevention cost and appraisal cost, and I've spoken about the cost of poor quality, which is internal failure and external failure cost. Apart from that, there are a lot of hidden quality cost, okay, which many textbooks don't explain. I have seen here lost sales, lost customers, lost goodwill, okay, expediting cost, excess material, lost capacity, rush shipments, morale loss, extra operations, overtime, long setup times, indirect labor, etc., etc., etc. How many of you can relate to all these type ICR in the chat box, which generally are not taken in cost? Okay, this is, I call it as a hidden quality cost. Okay, while we called that as prevention cost, appraisal cost, internal failure cost, external failure cost, I call this as HQC, hidden quality cost. Time with upset customer. Yeah, hidden quality cost. Okay. So far, if it is interesting, valuable, useful, fantastic, awesome, put in the chat box. Let's go to the formula. Cost of good quality plus cost of poor quality. That is the cost of total cost of quality. Okay. Cost of good quality is prevention cost plus appraisal cost. And cost of poor quality is internal failure cost and external failure cost. Okay. Superb. Now, to scare you, I have used short terms acronyms. CoQ is PC plus AC plus IFC plus EFC. Understood? Okay, fine. Now, are you ready for the question answer? How many of you are ready for the question answer now? If you're super ready, tap SR with a lot of R's. Okay, super ready. All right, all right. Now, question. The cost of poor quality includes which of the following cost? Training cost, warranty claims, calibration cost, and quality planning cost. Think carefully and answer, okay? Think carefully and answer. Very, very good. Very, very good. The correct answer is warranty claim, which is B. Okay. Okay, another 4 more questions to go. The rework due to defects found during manufacturing process is classified under which CoPQ category? Prevention, appraisal, internal failure, external failure. This is also an easy question. It's an internal failure cost, okay? Right, absolutely right. That's internal failure cost. Okay, bright people in the class today. Okay, last 3 questions. Which of the following is the consequences of external failure cost? Improved product design, Product recalls, increased training programs, enhanced quality audits. Okay, if you have been attentive, this is very simple, right? Okay, product recalls is definitely a this thing. Excellent. Product recalls is a fantastic. Good. Last two questions. Customer complaints are the part of which cost category? Prevention, appraisal, internal, external. Very simple answer. This is just to drill you. This is just to revise you. This is just to go through it. Simple answer, okay? If you are attentive, this is very simple. If you didn't attend the session, it will be difficult to answer. Okay, external failure cost. Okay. The last question, I guess, is cost associated with scrapping defective products during product categorization is categorized as prevention, appraisal, internal, external. Okay, this is also pretty easy. This is an internal failure cost. Okay, super. Okay, this is the internal failure cost. Okay.